am standing on this stage for my daughter Eliana, which means God answer me, because we need God to answer us. My daughter Eliana was diagnosed with SMA type 2, spinal muscular atrophy. Look at her. She needs our help. Her life is in critical condition. Man plans and God laughs. I thought I was going to be some sort of successful actuary, helping people, helping my family, supporting my family with pride. But I didn't know what my future would hold. My daughter's diagnosis changed our life. Eliana was born in my 3rd year of college when I had 1 semester left. I dreamed to have a baby girl that I could hold in my hands and take care of, and she would be my best friend. That's all I've ever wanted, was to have a firstborn daughter. I had a hard pregnancy, and she was born with a very hard delivery. When I woke up from my emergency C-section, I looked next to me and I saw my beautiful baby girl sitting on the incubator, and my heart filled with emotions. I knew that I would now have a best friend. She would always be there for me. She would be by my side and I would be by her side, and my heart just filled with love for her. When I took her home, I knew that I wanted to give her the best of everything. I decided that I would nurse her, and even though it was so hard, I pumped every ounce for her. Around when she was like 4 months, I had to go in for a medical procedure. I had my gallbladder taken out, and even through that, all I could think about was my daughter. All I could think about who is taking care of her. How am I gonna give her her nutrients? How am I gonna give her milk? How am I gonna pump for her? She was my number 1 priority because she was my best friend and she was my firstborn daughter. And I wanted to give her the best. I realized that around the age of 8 months that her lower body muscles were becoming very weak. While all the other kids were standing up in their crib already and making their first steps, standing on the couch and falling, my daughter was almost hardly crawling. As a mother who was with her daughter, I immediately went to pediatricians and asked and wanted to be proactive about my daughter's health. And I was told this was all a growth development and it would come with time. In the meantime, I had graduated college and I accepted my diploma holding my baby girl with pride that I had finished my degree in math. And I was so happy and so proud to have her with me over there. And I knew and I was thinking that one day it would be the opposite. I would be proud to see her walking the stage as well. After a long time of going to doctors and specialists, my doctor finally decided to send us to a neurologist and physical therapy. This was around the time when my daughter was 1 year old. We went to the neurologist and we got the diagnosis of hypotonia, which means very low tone. That meant that we just needed a lot of physical therapy and occupational therapy, but we hoped that any day she would get up and run to us. And this past year, I put everything aside. I just didn't know what my life would bring. People would ask me, why aren't you working? Why aren't you having another baby? Why is your daughter not walking? Is your daughter gonna be in school next year? And those are all questions that I don't have the answer to, and I still don't have the answers to today. I continued doing everything I could and standing by my daughter's side to get her all the help she needs. And I went above and beyond to take her to specialists that my doctor didn't even send her to, just to make sure like what was going on was normal, what was going on, that I'm doing the best that I could, that I'm doing everything I could to take care of her. But everything came out positive and everything was fine. At one point, when we saw that physical therapy was not improving and her evaluation was coming back the exact same as we started, we understood that we had to go back to the neurologist again. The neurologist sent us to get my daughter an MRI. That day was one of the scariest days of my life. I had to take my beautiful little girl who fell asleep in my arms, and I had to put her on a bed and say goodbye to her, not knowing if she would ever wake up from the severe sedations and medicine she was under. And I remember telling my daughter before, Eliana, who loves you the most? And she answered me, Mommy and Daddy. And I asked her, Eliana, what do you have to be strong like? And she said, roar, because I taught her that she has to roar like a lion and be strong like a lion. We waited for 3 hours that day for her to finish the MRI, not knowing what would happen. I didn't know what to think as a mother. Maybe they would find something small, just finish it up with a minor surgery. I didn't know. But the MRI came back clean. Her spine was perfect. That meant that we still didn't know what was going on with Eliana. The next test that the doctor sent us to was the test for SMA, spinal muscular atrophy, which is so rare that the doctor almost said, we just have to check it off the list. Make sure it's not it. But that was my daughter's diagnosis. When I got the call from the neurologist, my heart stopped. Any hope I had of her running to me all of a sudden and getting up, it just left me. Immediately, I had so many questions that filled my mind that I knew I didn't have the answer to. I didn't know what would be with me. Would I ever go to work? Would I ever be able to have any more kids? Would I ever be able to be by my daughter's wedding? Would my daughter be able to have a kid herself? Would my daughter be able to go to a normal school? Would she walk? So many questions. And I still don't have those answers. The doctors told me that there is a miracle cure called Zolgensma that the FDA approved only for children under the age of 2. My daughter had 5 weeks before she was turning 2. Now she has 5 days. I did everything I could to fight the insurance in any way possible. And I didn't realize that I would come to a point where I would have to pay the heavy price of $2.2 million to help give my daughter a normal life. For my daughter to even have the opportunity to walk. For my daughter to have the opportunity to breathe on her own or eat on her own. I don't know what the future will bring for her. I don't know what machines, what tubes, what anything. I don't even know anything about these things. All I know is that I want my daughter to have an opportunity to have a normal life just like every other kid. I want her to be able to run and play in parks. I want her to be able to have friends. I want her to be able to jump rope because that's what she wants to do also. If she doesn't get this drug, my daughter will have to go through spinal taps every 2 to 3 months. She will have to go through sedations every 2 to 3 months. She will have to go through severe consequences that may not even guarantee any improvement in her life. No baby should ever have to go through that. My daughter Eliana is so beautiful. She's so smart. She has such a giving heart and such a beautiful personality. Everything bad that happens to her, all she says is thank God. And she's come to teach us that as parents, as to the world. She's such a special person. Around 100 babies are diagnosed with spinal muscular atrophy each year. We all stand together as a community, coming together, fighting for our children's lives, fighting for our children to have normal lives, wanting them to have an equal opportunity. We live in America, where equality seems to be a key word, and we are all fighting for our children to have this equal opportunity to walk like all the other kids, to breathe like all the other kids, to eat like all the other kids. And this drug could help us give that opportunity to our children. I'm reaching out to whoever has influence to help my daughter and all the other children with SMA. From the White House down. Whoever could help in any way. My daughter has a disease that has a cure, and she deserves to get the cure, regardless of the money or technicalities involved. How did we get here? I used to have 5 weeks. Now I have 5 days. During the last 4 weeks, I've been running, calling, crying to any person that could help me, fighting with insurance day and night. I have a lawyer who was working on the case day and night. And denial was always the last word. At this point, I understand that as a mother, I have to do everything possible to help my daughter. Everything, even if it makes me uncomfortable. I will not be able to live knowing that I could have done something to help her. That I could have done something for her to be able to walk. I learned so much from this. I learned how strong a mother is. Even though I don't want to be strong. But I have to do it for my daughter, Eliana. She's my best friend and my firstborn. And I have to be strong for her. And I have to continue fighting for her. I dream of a world where Eliana could run and play with all the other kids. And I dream that I could be at her wedding and dance with her and see her holding her daughter and teaching her how important it is for a mother to be strong. And I need your help to be able to do this. Finally, I would like to call up my husband and daughter. Eliana, everything God does is for the good. We don't always understand why, but we know someone is out there to help us. In math, everything is always about the numbers, but I believe in miracles. Thank you.